Monday, September 15th, 2025 shall come to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Motion to approve the agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dana, seconded by Mark, that we approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Number 3 on the agenda, approval of the consent agenda. A, approval of City Council meeting minutes of September 2nd, 2025. Need approval of the bills and claims, of which you have a copy. Set Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025 at 5:30 as the date and time for a City Council workshop. D, set date and time for a trick or treating for October 31st from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. E, approval of supplemental agreement for construction services for the 2025 utility improvement project and 2026 street resurfacing project with Veenstra and Kim. F, approval of quote from the Minnesota-Iowa Electric for emergency generator connect panel equipment for the water department in the amount of $32,915. And we have the following licenses and permits: an excavator license, LB and Sons, and Brian Nettleton Excavating. Those are renewals. We have liquor license, special class C, retail alcohol license, Lucky Wife wine slushies for Harvest Festival, and a special class C retail alcohol license with the Surf Galley for the Harvest Festival. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Beth Ann, seconded by Mark, that we approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same. Motion carries. Now is the time and place for any citizen in the audience who wishes to address the council on any item that is not on the agenda. Please approach the podium, state your name first and last, and give your address so the clerk can properly enter the minutes. This is not a discussion time, nor a question and answer time, and you have 5 minutes, and Mr. Sorensen, if you go beyond that, will tell you, in fact, that you have exceeded the 5 minutes. Welcome, Kirk.
Kirk Kraft, K-R-A-F-T, 208 4th Avenue South. I just kind of want to applaud the council. You seem to be getting a lot more citizen feedback on some of the projects that you've undertaken, sometimes a little brutal, perhaps. But I do appreciate that you seem to be opening your ears more to more of the populace, and I would encourage you to continue to do that for the rest of the major projects that you have on your docket. I refer specifically to my street, 4th Avenue South. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak to the council this evening? Not appearing, we'll close the citizens' opportunity to address the council. We'll move to unfinished business, of which we have none. We'll go directly to 6A, mayoral proclamation recognizing Clear Lake Ag and FFA for their dedication to the Summer Flower Basket Program. Right before the meeting started, our city clerk took a picture of the mayor and these wonderful students that you see sitting in the back of the room, along with their president, Ms. Kapmeyer, and she accepted the mayoral proclamation, official a proclamation. I have a copy up here, but I'd like to congratulate those from the city. This has been 4, maybe 5 years that we've had an FFA at the high school, which I consider an important part of our high school, very key. There's some great things that you learn in FFA that you don't necessarily pick up in some of the other classes, and we are certainly well represented in this town. An example of how well they do is those wonderful, wonderful flowers that hang from our light posts and perhaps other posts too. I'm not sure that that's all today, but they are a beauty to our community and have been for a great number of summers. They received the plants, so I'm told, sometime between February and March, and they're raised up to the lights on Memorial Day, if I'm not mistaken. And they hang there till just this past week, in which they were taken down. And everybody says, how can they get flowers to hang and stay beautiful? And I, in my yard, have them droop as soon as those blossoms come, and they're gone. But I also like to thank he's on vacation this evening, but the coordinator, Mr. Jim Jackson, who is the director of our Parks Department, and he said to me via email, please make sure that you thank the students, the young people, he said, not the adults. So I'm sorry. But, you know, thanks very, very much for what you do. We appreciate your being here this evening. If you anytime wish to slip out, that's fine. We'll carry on with our meeting, and you do have that copy, right, of that, and thank you. And your superintendent is here tonight as well. Thanks for being here, Ian. Appreciate that. All right. The 6B, Lakeside Acres First Subdivision Preliminary Plat and Economic Development Grant Agreement. Intro, Matt Stedding, our city engineer. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. Hope everybody's having a good day. So we'll get started here with the preliminary plat for Lakeside Acres First Subdivision. This property is currently owned by LSA LLC, and it is located directly south of 15th Avenue South and west of South 8th Street. So this project is going to be completed through phases. This will be the first phase of this current project, and the future development is currently zoned RS12, single-family residential. Phase 1 of this development will include 17 single-family residential lots. And along with the project, the developer will be installing a private roadway, so this will not be a public roadway. It will indeed be left private. Along with that will be both water and sanitary to the project location. Those will both be dedicated back over to the public after the engineer of record can complete and certify that when the project's done. And also along with this project, we have a development agreement to go along with it, and I may let Steve touch on that a little more after the engineer with V&K speaks to the project. But essentially, the development agreement is stating that we're going to help the developer pay for actual materials on the project, so that includes sanitary pipe materials, water main materials, and some storm sewer materials for the project. And that amount is not to exceed $150,000 on the overall project. And there are some other stipulations that we had the developer put in there as far as rental agreements for short-term rentals as such. So if Steve has anything farther that he wants to touch on, he can do so. Otherwise, I'd be happy to answer questions afterwards. Right now I'll let Drew, engineer on the project, come up and speak in a little more detail to it. And like I said, if you guys have any questions at all, I'll be more than happy and available to answer those.
Okay, thank you. Review of preliminary plat. Drew Swears, professional engineer with Veenstra and Kim out of Mason City. Welcome, Drew.
Good evening. I hope everybody can hear me all right. I'm gonna skip over the overview that Matt pretty much touched on what we were hitting on phase 1. I will touch base a little bit more on some of the stormwater management that we had set up as part of this. We did review the overall full build out drainage report and drainage plan with Drainage District 49. Their engineer reviewed it and took no exceptions to our proposed plan, with the exception of reviewing the construction documents when they are available for the future phases where we would be impacting their county mains that we would have to reroute to facilitate our improvements. And then we would work with them at that point. That work would all be done at the developer's cost. And then for this first phase specifically, which is 2.75 acres and the 17 lots that Matt mentioned, that portion will drain to a new detention pond, but it will not impact anything with the existing drainage district. All of their facilities are farther south from where this would be. We did submit a letter to their engineer, and it was taken to the Board of Supervisors, where they acted and approved that they were in agreement with the understanding that there are no impacts for that drainage district as part of phase one of this project. We did go through the preliminary plat process with the Planning and Zoning Commission. We took no exception to any of Matt's comments. Some of those items will be hashed out during the final design. With that, the one semi-outstanding item is once we get the fire truck size for the truck turning movements, we will make sure that our roads, that are the private roads, will be established to the city's fire truck standards so that you can get around those easily. We have done it with a school bus right now. We are just waiting on the final dimensions for the fire trucks to make sure that that's okay. Are there any more questions? Would you like me to go in any more detail about the improvements or the sanitary sewer, water main, storm sewer lots?
Just a quick question I have, Drew. Thank you for the presentation. Just to confirm, this preliminary plat that we would be approving tonight is for just the phase one, 17 lots. Is that correct?
Correct. It's phase one only, but we did
Right.
provide for future developments if, as, I guess the intent would be as phase one got developed, they'd then move on to phase two, but then we would still have to go through the process again and have stuff to the city to review and then come back before the city council.
Right. I appreciate that because I think that makes a lot of sense to break that up. And as you pointed out, this phase one does not impact Drainage District 49 in any way, shape, or form, correct?
Correct.
All right. Thank you.
Just to follow up on that,
Yeah.
that drainage ditch, did you have to go through the county on that?
We went through the county with it, and then their drainage engineer reviewed our official drainage report, and then we submitted the phase one letter that the board approved, that they said that we weren't impacting. We submitted that to them and the board as well, and it's been through both the board and their engineer.
Great, great. Any other comments, questions, council? Did you have another?
Nope, that was all I had, unless you
Okay.
guys had anything else for me.
All right, thank you. Thank you for being here. Review, now we need a motion to approve Resolution 2527, a resolution approving preliminary plat for Lakeside Acres First Subdivision. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Bennett, seconded by Dana, that we approve Resolution 2527. Is there any discussion? Roll call, Mark.
Yes.
Creighton.
Yes.
Beth Ann.
yes,
Bennett.
Yes.
And Dana.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Resolution 2527 is duly adopted. Now, review of economic development agreements. Steve Deers, our city administrator. Steve?
Yeah, so the development agreement that we have before you tonight, Matt hit on a lot of the things. Oh, thank you. Within the agreement, the main pieces are that there's a sewer lift station that we'll be putting in to kind of help that initially. As I mentioned in my notes there, the long-term plan for that area is to redo the sanitary sewer, which would then turn that into a gravity-fed system. So we anticipate that this sanitary lift station pump will probably be short-lived, but we have that in there. We agree to cover some of the minor costs on that for operating it and so forth. The bigger piece is the infrastructure materials, and so we're agreeing to reimburse for materials up to a maximum amount of $150,000 for the work. It's similar to other development agreements that I've seen that we've done for some housing projects. This is all just one lump sum at the end as opposed to breaking out in multiple payments. So otherwise, as Matt mentioned too, there is the prohibition on short-term rentals that we've had in other agreements as well. So, but yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up.
Okay. Council, any questions for Mr. Deers?
Yes, Mayor. Steve, so same kind of question to you as I posed to Drew in terms of the applicability of the development agreement. This is only to phase one,
That's
correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Not to any potential future developments there.
Yep, anything in the future, we'll have to look at a future development agreement and planning on, but this is just kind of the initial kickoff for that first phase and see how it goes.
Okay. And then is the lift station part of the 150 K, or is that extra?
No, I think, it gets installed and we just cover the operational expenses with it. That's
Okay.
my understanding.
The lift station is going to be it's hooked to our public main, so it's going to be classified as public, so we'll have an agreement with the developer. So anything over $750,000 in maintenance, or $750 in maintenance would then get placed back on the developer. So this whole subdivision has been looked at and designed at least 3/4 of it to be able to gravity feed to the point where this lift station is going to be set in the northeast corner of the development. And then we also looked at the depths of our sanitary sewer on 12th Avenue. So in the future, when that sanitary gets brought down 8th Street, we have the elevations figured out to a point that the lift station will, in theory, be able to go away and we'll be able to gravity right into this future sanitary sewer that begins on 8th Street. So that's the goal in the long term.
Okay, so the lift station is part of the 150 that we would spend on that, right? Thank you both, I appreciate that. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Any other comments, questions, Counselor? Therefore, entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2528, a resolution authorizing economic development grant to the LSA LLC by the City Council. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Beth Ann, seconded by Creighton, that we approve Resolution 2528. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mayor, real briefly, I would just like to comment and thank everyone. Brandon is here. Appreciate the way that you have collaborated with us on this. I know you had some earlier ideas. We've been at this for a while, but I intend to support this agreement. I think it's an attractive kind of approach to housing that you're working on there. So again, I just want to thank you for working with us and our staff as well that's put time and effort into this. I hope that it's an attractive part of our strategic pipeline for housing in Clear Lake. So I'll look forward to supporting this tonight. Thank you, Mayor.
Well put, Bennett. Anyone else wish to comment? Okay, roll call. Creighton,
Yes.
Beth Ann,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Dana,
Yes.
and Mark.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Resolution 2528 is duly adopted. Thank you. Appreciate it. C, proposal for strategic goal setting, Midwest Municipal Consulting LLC, intro and review. Steve Deere, City Administrator. Welcome again, Steve.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Yeah, so tonight we're going to be looking at a proposal from Midwest Municipal Consulting for conducting our 2025 goal-setting session. This is a company outfit that I've worked with in my previous location, and they've done a nice job for helping design goals and do strategic planning and whatnot. And so we reached out to Elizabeth Hanson about doing a goal setting for us here in Clear Lake, and she provided the proposal that you see before you. What this proposes is that we essentially have a multi-step process that starts with a survey that comes from the elected officials, mayor and council, as well as department heads within the city you look at, what are the things we accomplished, what are some of the challenges we have out there, what are some of the goals or things we'd like to try and get done. And then ultimately, we put all that together and it goes before the city council and mayor in a workshop session to kind of go through and prioritize what are our top goals. And so the way this typically works is it works with a survey that gets filled out. In this case, in October, the city staff then meets to go through their strategic goal setting from a staff level, and then that information all gets assimilated and comes before the council in an ultimate meeting. On the dates timeline we have here, I think it's November 19th, which is a Wednesday. It would be the night or day, I guess we're open to whatever time that could be, that we'd get together as a council and review this and go through that process of establishing our goals. And then ultimately after that, those totals, we get a final report back from Midwest Municipal Consultants, and we would look to approve that. And so I know one of the questions I received was, we have an election coming up, right? So, from a timing standpoint, that meeting where we would get together with full council would be after the election. So the way I've done that in the past is, whoever that elected body is at that point, we know who those people are. So those would be the folks that would participate in the ultimate goal setting, and that's what I would propose here as well. So we can look at dates, have a date that's thrown out there. Ultimately, they have the council approve the goal setting packet, and that's shown in here as December. That's something I think we probably would want to wait until January, where we have everybody seated to officially adopt and approve it. But otherwise, I think, the times in there are flexible. We can kind of work through that, and it's usually a pretty good process. That last night does get a little bit long. It's about 4 to 4.5 hours. I was told maybe we'd want to do that during the day. I'm all about that. So obviously take your folks' feedback and suggestion on how we want to move forward. But I think it'll be a good process for us to go through, especially with myself being new, and a lot, be good for us to figure out what those top goals are, so we know what we're aiming at.
Council, any questions for Steve? Thank you, Steve. Therefore, I entertain a motion to approve proposal from Midwest Municipal Consulting LLC for strategic goal setting by this city council. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dana, seconded by Creighton, that we approve the proposal from Midwest Municipal Consulting LLC. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Thank you. 6D, purchase of dump trailer for Parks Department, interim review, competitive quotes. Jacob Woodman, Director of Finance Administrative Services. Welcome, Jacob.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. These will be in your, salmon-colored sheets there at the end of your packet. So as you guys remember, at budget time, we put in a dump trailer for the Parks Department. Currently, they don't really have anything for hauling mulch around and some of that stuff. And so we just wanted to get them another tool, kind of as we expanded some of our playground offerings in the parks. And so at budget time, we had put $11,000 in the budget. We weren't really quite sure what we wanted for a trailer at that point. But Rod, our mechanic, kind of went through the specifications, came up with a good quality trailer for the department. We put out an RFP, which you'll see that RFP kind of on page 2 of those sheets. And we sent it out to 3 different companies. We only received 1 bid back. That was from the Thomas of America out of Des Moines. And so they bid $17,439 on the trailer that we specified to them. As a part of that process, kind of when we started looking at the specs of the trailer, we knew it was going to be a little bit more than what we had put in the budget. So we kind of looked for areas that we could either cut out of the budget, or we were kind of looking at the equipment that we had on hand and some of the uses. And we have a job site trailer that's been sitting at Public Works for a while and is very, very underutilized. So we decided we'd put that in our RFP as a potential trade option. And then depending on the price that we got back, and we got back a $3,000 trade-in value on it. So we're looking at probably selling that one outright. We think we can get more than the $3,000 by selling it outright. And so our recommendation is to move forward with the purchase from Thomas America for $17,439. And then we will proceed with trying to sell that job site trailer. And depending on bids on that, if we don't get great bids, we may move forward with the trade-in. That's a little up in the air yet. We have identified some other areas of the budget where we can cut to make it fit in the budget. But I do think this will meet their needs. I think it's important with all the work that they're doing, all the mulch that they're carrying around, all the different materials that they're carrying around. I think it'll be a very, very useful tool for them. So recommend moving forward with that. Rod is here if you have any specific questions on some of the specifications of it. But other than that, I'd be happy for any questions you might have on it.
Council, any questions for Jacob?
Jacob, is there any time limit on how long we would have to try and get rid of that 1998 trailer in terms of the whole agreement?
So it's an 8 to 10 week lead time,
Okay.
on getting a new trailer. So we'd have that period of time
Perfect.
to put it out on Gov Deals and see what we can get for
Okay,
it. So
thank you.
we have a little bit of time.
Any other comments? Good research on this, both you and
Yeah,
Mr. Haig.
Rod did a lot of work on it.
Right.
So.
Well done. Thank you. Therefore, I'll entertain a motion to approve purchase of dump trailer from Thomas Bus Sales in the amount of $17,439.
Second.
Moved by Beth Ann, seconded by Creighton, that we approve the purchase of the dump trailer. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Chief, report. Chief of Police. Chief Colby, welcome.
Evening, Mayor and Council. I don't have much for you tonight. Our CSO is going through a training program. She's probably about 30 to 40% through it. Hope to have her finished up by mid-October on her own doing CSO stuff. And then that's really about it for you. We're just cruising along into the fall as we start here, and that's it. Unless any questions, working on the August monthly report, hopefully have for you at the next council meeting to review too. So that's about it. Any questions?
Any questions, Council? Thank you.
Thank you.
Public Work Director's report. Jeremy's not with us. Anything there? City Engineer, Matt? Anything?
We got our 2025 utility and roadway improvements project is underway now, so Mr. Middleton will be connecting in North Shore Drive and working up 6th Avenue water main on the south side of the street, so that's what we're gonna be working on for the near future here for a while, so it'll be good to see that project getting underway. And then we got curb and gutter, concrete contractors are replacing, they're gonna start on the curb and gutter replacements in various locations on 19th Street. So that's gonna get going, and working through a lot of final renditions on the surf district, finishing that plaza area up in by the railroad tracks, getting that going, and then we're gonna be working on the lake connection portion here coming up in about a week. So I met with the landowners in that area and talked with them about everything in the construction process, so just making sure that everything's gonna flow smoothly down there, and I think everybody's on the same page, so be good to get that one finished out to complete the grant. And lots of little projects coming forward through planning and zoning here, so there's a lot of things moving.
In regard to that, with regard to the infrastructure, I call it the Highlands area, are we increasing the size of that water pipe, or is, that's what I thought. There's,
Yep, we are, and then also switch topics here, just so everybody's aware, I did engage with Lakes and Cedar, and they've completed kind of an initial assessment on May now from 8 to 14, so I'm waiting to hear back on the verdict there, but we're gonna look to see what we need to do to kind of straighten some of that out.
great, great. Thank you. Director of Finance, welcome again, Jacob.
Thank you again, Mayor and Council. The first thing I wanted to start off with tonight was we started off with the FFA proclamation and just thanking them for their work on the flower baskets. And I think we would be remiss to also not recognize those people that weren't part of the FFA, but that have helped out with the flower baskets. So I know it was in the proclamation, but Misha's here tonight with her family, and she has been a huge part the last couple of years of helping us out with the flower baskets. She's kind of taken over the coordination of that from Jim, and I know that's been a relief off of Jim's shoulders, and so I just wanted to give her recognition for that and all the work that she's done with that, and thank her and her family for coming out tonight. And then we had 2 other students that also helped out significantly with watering throughout the summer. So Braden Foster, who is here tonight, also, and then Addison, she was here earlier, but she had to take off, and she did a great job with it too. So maybe just a round of applause for all 3 of them, because they found it.
I apologize for both of those. The names were there, and I thought, oh, these are students. And well done. You have 3 kids that are very good in a meeting, I must say.
Neighbors too.
Couple other just quick things that I have. For the Surf District, we've been working on the hotel project out there. We've been working on another land purchase out there associated with that. Council here approved it maybe 2 months ago, a month and a half ago. We did close on that Bergduff property today, just giving us a little bit more space for that. So I just wanted to bring that to council's attention that we did get that property closed, and just really appreciate working with Bergduff, Denny and Jeannie. They're based out of down in Ames. But they were really good to work with, and we really appreciate working with them. And they're really excited for the project coming down to that area down there. The next thing then was this past week, our government accounting software, they held their annual conference out in Wisconsin Dells. I went out to their conference just to kind of see how to use our software better, some of the improvements that they're doing. They did go through kind of a structure change this last year where they merged with another company. But as a part of their conference, they do give out community awards. They call it a Commitment to Community Award. So I put in an application for the 9/11 Memorial out here and the bronze firefighter statue, and they selected that. And so I was just really pleased to see that selection. They said they had 81 applications, and they selected 3 of them, and ours was one of those 3. So just excited to see that recognition, and they donated $1,000 towards it. So very pleased for that, and just wanted to share that with you guys. So that's all I have, unless you guys have any questions.
Thanks for doing that.
Yes, thank you for doing that very much.
That's great. Any questions, council? Good work, thank you. Thank you. Under Mayor's report, I want to first hear from Chad with our North Iowa corridor. Welcome. Chad Schreck.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Appreciate the time. And I just got to commend the FFA kids too. As a FFA alumni, it's really awesome to see that program take off in Clear Lake. It was very influential for me, past vice president. My wife was president, so I didn't get that. So you know who's the boss. But no, so really cool to see that, and such a great thing for our community. A lot of things going on in this area. We are so blessed with the corridor. Some hiring news. Last week was the first week for Jenna Heyer, our new business relations manager. She had been with us in a shared role with NIAC the last year and a half or so. And we stole her, I'm happy to say. But she'll be taking over, really trying to beef up our business relations program, our surveys, our interview process with our businesses to make sure that we're getting out and getting in the door a lot more often. I try to be everywhere, but I haven't pulled it off just yet. So it's going to be great to have her getting out there, doing more of that, and continuing on with a lot of our workforce responsibilities as well. This past week, it was a pleasure to go down with the Clear Lake team. Appreciate the mayor, Steve, Jacob. I should start naming names. All of us got to go down to the housing conference, and what a great opportunity. We met so many developers, so much interest in the community. Stacy and I had the pleasure of representing the community on a panel as Thriving Community designation to present Clear Lake and what we have to offer and why we're ready to work with developers and to continue these great opportunities. A lot of interest. Shelley and our team was at the booth most of the time, and just the number of developers that kept coming to our table was really impressive. So we've got a whole long list of folks that we're going to be able to communicate with and continue talking with about potential projects. We had another meeting this morning with the team to review that, kind of recap what we learned down at the conference and connections that we made. So we're going to try to move fast and just keep the momentum going. Continue to look at what our priorities are as a community, the areas that we can continue to grow into, and where that makes sense. So a lot of work to be done on that. I'm sure that'll be a big part of the strategic planning process as that moves forward as well. So a lot of positive things coming out of that opportunity. And just as a reminder, there were 22 applicants, only 5 communities selected. We, of course, were one of those, and I did learn at the conference they're going to cut that down to 3 total communities that'll be picked next year, and that might be the last time for at least 2 years. So we got in at the right time to get in and take advantage of this, and it continues to impress me how much that has really driven interest. I guess for reference point, Mason City, you know, we submitted 4 workforce tax credit applications, and we got 3 of them, and that was largely because we had that Thriving Communities designation. So we'll want to kind of strike while we got this opportunity and continue pushing these projects forward. Also, I just want to commend the city and the SUR folks. I got to go to the ribbon cutting a couple weeks ago, or a week and a half ago. Awesome job, such a great venue, and that's going to be a great attraction for our community. Quality of life, everything else. Just really excited to see that come through. That experience center, or the immersive experience, was definitely one of a kind. I mean, that's going to be something that you can just spend hours in that room and watch all the, Dana and I were standing in there. I mean, just the number of videos that you could go up and play and push and just experience was really unique and really cool. So again, a really excellent opportunity. You know, a lot of things on building and projects. And of course, we're watching the Wilcox building. That's going to be important for this community and our retail corridor. There's already a lot of things happening with that possibility. And I know we've had several conversations, and that'll be something that keeps moving, coming up. Also, I might have mentioned last time, but we have a really cool potential manufacturing project over at the airport, which could be the most regional project we've ever worked on, because it's the Mason City Airport in the county with Clear Lake Utilities. And if we can pull this off, we could really put together a cool teamwork effort. But a company that actually works in the airplane parts space, so got some more meetings with them coming up, but really have gone well on that. Could be upwards of 100 jobs. So it would be a really awesome thing for our communities. Going to continue working on that over the weeks ahead. And then just don't want to close on a sad note, but for those of you that knew Ken Bales, he had been with the corridor for a long time. He recently passed away. But just an awesome man. Really was a great person as I got here just about 11 years ago now, and worked with us for about 5 years after that. But passed away. He was 89 years old. They will have visitation this Friday at Lakeside Church here in Clear Lake. So if you knew him or his family, certainly recommend that. But he was a Clear Lake boy, and then stayed in the community for a long time, and just an awesome, awesome guy. So it was sad to see that news, but definitely want to pay him our respects. So thank you.
Thank you. Stacy Dawn, CEO of our Chamber of Commerce. Welcome.
Mayor and Council, I will echo a lot of what Chad said regarding the Housing Iowa Conference. You go to a housing conference and you don't think it's going to be maybe the most exciting opportunity, but I would say hearing the stories of people's lives who were impacted by housing projects, both affordable, workforce, it was really inspirational. So I just want to echo the kudos that Chad had for the initiative that the city took to apply for the Thriving Communities designation. I think it's going to open some doors and create some opportunities. We know we have some unique challenges. Tourism drives our economy, but obviously that has its impacts too. So really taking that balanced approach to making sure tourism thrives, but also we're building housing for the residents and the people who fuel those hospitality organizations is really important to the future of Clear Lake. So looking to see how we can continue to make a positive impact there. And it's been a little bit of a whirlwind. So right when we got home from the housing conference, we had our grand opening or the soft opening, however, whatever kind of opening for the Music Experience Center, and it was really great to see all of the people go through. I think they said they had over 2,000 people go through the experience that weekend, so what a great asset to the community. And then right away the next week, so last week we had our downtown assessment, so we welcomed a team from the Iowa Economic Development Authority Iowa Downtown Resource Center to Clear Lake. Leading up to that assessment, we had done a community survey and had over 250 people respond to the survey. Then throughout the week, we had over 100 participants in our focus groups that met with IEDA. And ultimately, the goal of IEDA is to help us get money to keep our downtown thriving. So we have a really great downtown. It's very vibrant, but we want to make sure we keep it that way. Some key themes that came out of that downtown assessment, just high level. Lots of talk around parking and accessibility, expanding the footprint of downtown, and just beautification while protecting its history and character. And so when we get the full report in 4 to 6 weeks, we'll just kind of dive into that, and they'll point out what grant opportunities that they think we can take advantage of in order to keep our historic buildings standing and just keep our downtown beautiful. One final thing is we launch our Lake Leadership Program on Wednesday. So excited to have a new cohort of 24 leaders and up-and-coming leaders start that process. It'll be 9 months, and we use the community as a classroom, and we're shifting things a little bit and starting off with our History Day. So first, our students will learn about the history of our county and community before we dive into other topics. So that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
I thought it was neat that the IEDA street assessment group also presented to the public at the last meeting, and they got quite a good turnout, I thought, down the Lakeview room.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
They did it's good to have them in and take an outside picture of what we are.
yeah. It's always nice to have fresh eyes.
Did very well, yeah. Anything else, Council, for Stacy? Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done, Stacy. I just want to cite Mark Bally and Cheryl Bergvik for being here tonight. Mark is the chairperson of our P&Z, and that's hard work, guys, and I appreciate you both being here tonight as well. Thank you. I want to remind folks that, correct me if I'm wrong, Jennifer, but this Thursday is the last day that you can turn in application, is that what we're calling that? For nomination papers for city council and mayor. I know some have already, but those of you who haven't, don't forget that particular date, and make sure you get the correct signatures, et cetera, on there when you get there. That's all I have. Mr. Deers, do you have any report?
Yeah, so I'll just hit on a couple things. So just kind of following up the housing discussion, thriving communities, part of the discussion we had this morning was we've had a lot of developers reaching out to us on potential partnerships and that would like to, come to the city potentially. So what we're going to do is we're going to host a field day on October 16th. And council will be invited. Shelley from North Iowa Corridor is working on that, but we're going to have a field day and invite those developers to town and kind of show them various areas. We've talked about the One Vision area, that'll be a particular area, and look at some of those and some other ones in the community, and as we kind of develop, how do we focus down to what projects, are we looking for, and we want to see proposals from developers that'll match what we're looking for. So that'll be happening here in October. In regards to the Oaks Hotel, as we discussed, we have a workshop on that next Tuesday. And so if we're working on, that agenda. Obviously, we'll be reviewing the traffic study. We'll be hearing from the developer and looking at different iterations of the project. But if there's anything specific that the council's looking for, I ask you just please feel free to reach out to myself, Jacob, or Matt, so we can kind of know that and try and address those and have that be part of the presentation. So if there's anything particular you'd like to see, please let us know. Also, I guess lastly, I'll mention, well, almost lastly, last week I met with the folks that are working on the Children's Museum concept, and had really good discussion on that. One of the things we talked about was maybe doing a tour to a children's museum with the council to kind of take a look and see what those entail, and they threw out a couple different ones. I suggested we try and keep as close to home as possible, so that'll be something that we'll be looking, maybe throw a date out to see if something works, to go take a look at one of those and get a feel for that in that process. And lastly, I guess I'll just mention again on the hanging baskets and the downtown assessment. I mentioned this in my notes, but one of the assessors that's been around the state of Iowa for a long time and seen a lot of communities, said those are the best hanging baskets in the state of Iowa. So there you go. it's confirmed.
Yeah.
So, that's all for me, Mayor.
All right, thank you. I might want to point out that Chad and Stacy were both presenters. I think maybe Chad mentioned that, but in front of, what, 350, 400, 500 people, somewhere in there, a lot of people. And they did very, very well in supporting this area. Appreciate that much. Anything else, council? Meeting adjourned.